Get ready with me while I tell you my worst first date story, because I heard that we're all doing that. I used to work at an establishment where we had a high foot traffic, and this gentleman came in and we obviously had a vibe, and so he asked me for my number, and it was one of those things where it was like, oh, you look super familiar. Do I know you? And we were both kind of like, oh, that's weird. You just have a familiar energy. So this man asks me out on a date, and he's like, do you like rooftops? I'm like, of course I like rooftops. He takes me to this place called Harriet's, where you can go on the rooftop and you can have dinner and drinks there. Mind you, because of the place that I worked at, I had access to all of his personal information, like his driver's license, his address, his first and last name. Not that I actually would use that for anything, but I think that's important to mention throughout the story, is that I knew who this person was, like, to his personal details. So he offers to pick me up, which normally I'd be like, I don't know if I want him to know where I live, but once again, I had all of his information, so I was like, okay, like, yeah, you can pick me up, because that's also very gentlemanly, and I do like me a good gentleman. So he picks me up, and we get to the rooftop restaurant/bar. And he's like, are you hungry? Now, mind you, this man knew that I just got off work, and I got off work at 7 p.m. So yeah, dude, I was hungry. You asked me if I wanted to go to a rooftop bar and restaurant. And I was like, yeah, I'm starving. Like, I just got off work. And he's like, oh, I'm not really hungry. I just ate. I was like, well, that's awkward. And he was like, we could order an appetizer and share it. And then he goes, you can order a whole meal to yourself and eat it in front of me if you want to be rude. Sir, you just invited me to dinner. Like, okay, 2 tacos, and I eat the 1 taco like, oh my God, I'm so hungry. Then he's like, would you like something to drink? And I was like, absolutely, I would love a cocktail. Then I was like, what are you gonna drink? And he's like, oh, I don't drink alcohol. It's fine, honestly, like, I don't mind if a person doesn't drink. But in that scenario, I was like, okay, so you just told me that you didn't want to eat, and now you don't want to drink, but you invited me to dinner and drinks? This is weird. So I still order a cocktail anyway, because I'm like, I'm gonna need one to get through this night. So I order the drink. He orders a mocktail. After we eat the tacos and drink the drink, he like scoots over to me and he points at my nose and he goes, is this real? I go, yes. He points at my lips. He goes, are these real? I go, yes. Then he points at my chest and goes, are those real? And I was like, yes. And he was like, oh, great, because in LA, like, so many girls are so fake, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, first of all, miss me with that shit, okay? Second of all, why are you touching me and asking me about my body parts? Here's where it gets weird. I'm like, I think it's time to go. Insinuating, like, it's time for me to go home. Like, this man gets in his car and starts driving. And I'm thinking, like, okay, he, mind you, is not from America. So I'm thinking to myself, as he's driving, he's, like, driving somewhere that is not towards the freeway. I'm like, where are you going? And he's like, oh, I'm going to my house. And I was like, what? Excuse me? Mind you, he never even asked me this. And I was like, no, you're not. Like, you need to take me home. He goes, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, in my country, this is all a lie, of course, it's just insinuated that you go home on the first date to drink tea and talk. And I was like, well, buddy, in America, it means that you're gonna woo-hoo, and that's not what's happening tonight, okay? That's not happening ever, honestly. And he's like, no, like, we're just gonna go inside and we're just gonna drink coffee and tea and we're just gonna talk, like, blah, blah. And I was like, no. And really, in retrospect, like, I should have jumped out of the car and called an Uber or called a family member or a friend or to pick me up, because that's freaking crazy. So I go, no, like, this was not something that we discussed even. Like, you didn't even ask me if I wanted to come over and, like, hang out. You just assumed that I was going to be, like, down for that. And that's what makes this even more weird. He then starts feeling super, super bad about it. And he's like, oh, like, I'm so sorry. Like, that was really rude of me. I'll take you home. And, like, the whole drive home, it was just so awkward. I was just feeling like I had one thing in mind, which the way he went about it was, like, the total wrong way to go about it. He takes me home and he's just like, I hope this didn't put a bad taste in your mouth, like, blah, blah, blah. I was thinking in my head, I'm like, did you think that you were gonna just give me one drink and one freaking potato taco and then think that you were gonna get in my pants? Like, sir, hello? No. So he wound up texting me the next day and I didn't answer him. And then he sent me another text and he was like, I just feel like I did something wrong. Excuse me? Can you please tell me what I did wrong? And I was like, the fact that I even have to tell you this. So I sent him the text about how uncomfortable the whole thing was, and then I blocked him. Fingers crossed that I will never have to have one that surpasses that. Anyway, this is my final look. Just my day-to-day makeup. Go Dodgers.
I'll tell y'all the story of my obsessive, pathological liar ex-best friend. I got my robe on, so you know what time it is. Get ready with me. I've been trying to rack my brain as to like how I'm gonna explain this. All right, so basically I had a friend. I met her in middle school. We met like in the 8th grade, so it was like towards the end of middle school. We got decently close in middle school, and when we went into high school freshman year, this was the first red flag. Freshman year of high school, we were cool for a while, whatever, and we ended up actually fighting. So there was one night I was just chilling with my brother, and she had already been super off with me when I was in school. I don't know, she was just being really weird. Like, she was treating me like shit. I was like, what's up with this girl? So I'm chilling with my brother. I literally remember this because I be remembering like events in my life, like the small details. So basically, yeah, like I'm chilling. My brother and I are playing Uno, and I get a Facebook message from her, and it's a super long message. I open the message, and it's pretty much her like blowing up at me, basically saying I'm a piece of shit, I'm worthless, like just calling me out my name, like just doing a lot of things. So my response to her was, it's crazy because I really remember this like it was yesterday. And I'm gonna say this was about a little over 10 years ago, and I remember it like it was yesterday. And I'm just like, the fact that you've seen me all week and you wait until the weekend to say something to me when you've seen me all week, I'm gonna leave it there. If you want to talk to me or you want to say something to me, say it to my face. On Monday, as soon as I got to school, basically we would be hanging out in the cafeteria. When we first would go in, we would go to the cafeteria. You know, I'm over here ready for my breakfast, ready to eat my Cinnamon Toast Crunch with my chocolate milk. If you didn't have Cinnamon Toast Crunch with chocolate milk, you're a weirdo. But yeah, I'm over here mad excited to have my cereal with my chocolate milk. I'm sitting with my friends at the table that usually sit with us, including her. She usually sits there too. She wasn't there yet, but I'm sitting, I'm ready, opening my carton, and all I hear is somebody charging towards me. And she sits across the table from me. Multitasking is so hard for me because I'm like always talking with my hands. But yeah, so she sits down, she sits across from me, and she starts talking like crazy. Already raising her voice, like talking with her hands, like, and I'm like, girl, why are you coming at me? First of all, it's probably like, what time did we go to school? Like 6:30, 7 in the morning. First of all, how are you coming in with so much energy? Like, you didn't sleep on it a little? You talking about you've been enraged? I took over your whole weekend. I was in your mind this entire weekend. Like, be so for real. Basically repeating whatever she said in the text message. And I was just like, girl, you're acting mad ratchet right now. And you know, I mean, my freshman year, it was like 2014 when I was in freshman. My freshman year, people would always call each other ratchet. Like, oh, you're being, I'm just like, girl, you're being ratchet. Like, the way you're talking and like, you're raising your voice. Like, I'm not a fighter. Like, I don't like arguing with people. I don't like fighting with people. If I'm arguing with you, you're probably family. Like, I don't really care to argue with people. So yeah, I'm just like, girl, you're acting mad ratchet. And that triggered her. Yeah, so she stands up, goes around the table, and I'm like, where the fuck? And I'm looking at her, I'm like, absolutely not. Because one thing about it, I'm like, I'm not gonna have this girl hover over me. I'm not trying to fight, but I'm not gonna have her hover over me. She thought that me standing up was like an invitation to try to hit me. So I think she tries to grab my hair. I didn't let her grab my hair because she was taller than me. So like I kind of like ducked and I hit her. Because this is a sequence of events. Like, this is not just freshman year. This comes outside of high school in my undergrad. Like, this continues. Like, we're fighting, cool. She ends up hating our dean. And if you don't know what a dean is, so we had multiple houses. So there was A house, B house, C house, and D house. And she hit one of the deans, which is like pretty much who looks over that house. And he ended up actually charging her with assault and battery, and she had to go to court for it. So if you know me, like, I'm like a very forgiving person because I've always had it in me that people can change, people can get better. I just put my faith in God in everything, honestly. I was always the type of person that I try to see the good in everybody. And that was my first mistake because she had messaged me on Facebook months later, like months later. I don't know, was I still a freshman? I'm not sure I don't remember if I was still a freshman, but she did message me months later. She was like, you know, I apologize. I was going through a lot. I was diagnosed with bipolar. Me being super naive and young and forgiving, I was like, backtrack for a second. I did have a private investigator come to my house with my parents were home, I was home, and he knocked on the door. We're like, who is that? So we open the door. He's like, hi, I'm a private investigator. I am here in behalf of the dean, that we're not gonna obviously say who the dean is, but here on behalf of the dean, he wants to charge. We need to come up with a name for her. We're gonna name her Python. She was for sure a snake. Like she was a lot. He said that he was gonna charge the Python with assault and battery, and he wanted to know if I wanted to charge her as well. Because if so, I would need to go to court. I do want to also add, this girl was already on probation for many of reasons. I'm a very like, I'm gonna let God do it. I'm gonna let God, let him do his thing. At the time, I was like, I'm not gonna charge her. I'm sure she's going through enough. I'm not gonna do more damage than is already happening to her. He was like, okay, are you sure? I think because he was a private investigator, he was kind of pushing. When she hit the dean, she wasn't even aware who was around her because there was so many people around her. My brother was pulling me off. Like, it was just so much people that she was kind of just swinging at whatever. Because, again, she probably blacked out as well. So, yeah. So, I forgave her. I was like, it's okay. Like, you were going through stuff. She basically was like, she took it out. She was taking things out on me that wasn't necessary to take out on me. I forgave her. We became friends again. And then there was another incident where she took her emotions out on me and whatever was going through around with her. I started getting box braids for like the first time because I was really tired of my hair. My hair was super damaged from relaxing it, and I just wanted to start growing it out. And I was like, you know what? Let me try box braids. So I did box braids for the first time. This is when we were not friends anymore again. Like, I can't pinpoint what year was each thing. So, and I hear her pass by my class. All I hear her saying mad loud in the hall, "Mira Taitiana." She said it as an insult, and I overheard her. I was real tired of her shit. Like, I was already over her. Like, I was already over her and all the stuff that she was doing and saying to other people. And I was just like, what? And my teacher, she saw me get up. I was like, no, I'm not. Whatever, like, I'm over it. Like, she literally brought me out of character, for sure. So I'm stepping out. I'm like, girl, what? She said, she was saying way more things than just that. I just can't pinpoint exactly what she was saying. I remember my teacher followed me because she saw I was tight, I was mad. I think she kind of understood, like, the history between us. Follows me out. I'm like, my blood is boiling. My blood is boiling. And she was just like, come back to class. It's okay. Whatever, because people already separated us. So we didn't get into it at all. Like, we didn't fight or nothing. I was so heated. I was like, I need to go. I need to take a walk. I think the first fight, she got expelled. And then when she started that, she got in school suspension. And again, my dumbass forgives her again. And I'm just like, yeah, like, it's fine. She's like, like, I just want to be friends. Like, and I forgave her. I feel like this video is going to be super duper long. So go to part 2 so I can explain to you the rest of the situation.
Story time on how I got kidnapped by a man I was convicted of murder. So I want to start off by saying there is probably going to be chunks of information missing. I genuinely do not remember a lot of this. It's been about 5 years since it all happened, and I still can't remember it all. So I'm gonna set the scene for you. So basically, my mom had recently lost custody. She is schizophrenic and has substance use issues. She's also a very dangerous person. As a direct result of that, she lost custody of me and my little brother. So let's just keep that in mind while I tell this story. It was February 2021, and I was sleeping in my bed. It was a very normal night. I actually did go to bed early that night because I had something important the next day for school. I don't really remember what, but I woke up to a hand on my arm. I woke up and it was like back and forth, like rocking me awake. I immediately got up because I'm not that deep of a sleeper. I almost shit myself. I probably should have. Anyways, I looked up and I saw a man. It was really dark and I had just woken up, and I made eye contact with the man, but like I had no idea who he was. I did not recognize this man. I did not know him. Almost immediately after he saw me open my mouth, he put his hand over it to stop me. I don't know why I didn't scream, but I didn't. I think I was a little bit confused, I'm not gonna lie. He took me downstairs and into the back. He had a truck in the driveway and he put me in the back of his truck. There was someone else in the truck though. No one other than my mom. The mom who had no parental rights and no custody and I had a restraining order against? Yeah, that mom. So I was a little bit scared shitless. I had already known what my mom was capable of, which she's capable of a lot. So I was scared. I often get asked why I didn't fight or why I didn't scream or why I didn't run. And honestly, I thought this man had a gun on him. He had something in his waistband and I thought that it was a weapon of sort. And honestly, I thought my best chance of survival would be to comply. Which, I guess I was right. Anyways, so we're in the back of this truck. As in me and my mom. I don't even say a word at this point. I just accept what's going on and yeah. We started driving around and I started to get scared. I started yelling and thrashing around. And that's when this man pulled over and he's told me he was gonna kill me if I didn't stop. So I stopped. I did not have duct tape around my mouth like the movies have shown. I was not tied up or restrained or anything. But the doors were locked. So I couldn't really get anywhere. We continued to drive around and then we stop at no place other than Dairy Queen. Yeah, I didn't understand that either. I guess they just wanted a sweet treat while they're kidnapping a 13-year-old. What a cute date. So I foolishly thought that I could just scream for help in a Dairy Queen. But like, no shit, they didn't let me out of the car. So the guy stayed back with me in the car and my mom went in to go pick up the ice cream. I was sobbing and I was very quiet with it though. I was really scared. I was shaking and I feel like I was so scared that I kind of blacked out a little bit. My mom comes out of the Dairy Queen and we continue to go on our expedition. I'm in this car for like the next 45 minutes. At this point, my mom and my kidnapper told me to lay down. They didn't want police to see me in the back of the car, even though the windows were illegally tinted, so I don't know. Eventually, we got to this house. I was locked in a random room for like, I don't know, like 8 hours. I don't think I fell asleep, but I also don't think I was like mentally there. The next morning, police arrived and my mom and this kidnapping murderer dude, they weren't there. It was just me. So a bunch of police officers asked me a bunch of questions and I could not tell them anything that was useful. I didn't know who this man was, but I thought like maybe I did recognize him. Anyways, turns out it was a guy that my mom had dated while she was in rehab. So it's not a very fun story, so I'm sorry about that.
Story time, how I got groomed in elementary school. Okay, so I didn't like technically get groomed, or actually I'm not sure, but like I'm pretty sure I was going to get groomed. So basically the story happens, I went to an after school program called Think Together, and bro, it was so bad. Everyone there was so mature. So the teacher that I'm talking about is named Mr. Z. We'll call him Mr. Z. He's the only one with a fake initial. The other teachers though just have the same initial as their name. Bitch, you know who you are. So Mr. Z, he was about 19 years old. The other teachers were all like really fucking young, because it's not school, it's after school, so it's a free like daycare thing if your parents can't get you straight away. So bam, I don't know how I got introduced to Mr. Z, but let me give a backstory about all the other teachers. One of the teachers, she was an immigrant. Okay, who cares? But she would tell us, mind you, we're in elementary school, so we're like 8, 9, 10, 11. So from those ages, she would tell us about how she's only marrying her boyfriend so that way she could get a visa. Why are you telling little ass kids this? The other one, Mrs. D, we'll call her that, she used to ask us for money and for us to buy her stuff, because we used to have like these drama juices come to our school. And then she was talking to Mr. Z, right? They were like in a talking stage. Why does she show us all their fucking messages? 8, 9 years old. And at the time, I like didn't know what they were talking about because I'm like a little ass girl. But they would send like eggplant emojis and all this shit. Now that I'm older, I'm like, oh no, why were you showing us this? So now Mr. Z, he was 19 years old, I think. I was like 9, and then the other girl was 10. I was either 11 and she was 10, or 9 and she was 10. She was a grade above me. She was like a wonderful, I'm gonna just call her B for the story, I'm not gonna say her name. I feel like she definitely, if we were getting groomed, she definitely got groomed worse than me. But so I like randomly got close to Mr. Z. I don't know how. I wasn't in his class because I was a grade below the class that he was supposed to teach, but I had gotten so close to him that he had transferred me into his class to be like a student helper. So mind you, I'm thinking I'm the shit, bitch, because I'm a student helper for older kids, not for little kids, for older kids. And me and him are like very close. I'm telling him like all my trauma. At the time my dad was in jail, bitch. I'm telling him about my dad who's in jail. B is telling him about how her family life, how it's just not, I'm not gonna go into detail, but it's just like not a good place for her. We're both getting used and abused, whatever. And so we're telling him this, and he's telling us about like his life too. But mind you, he's telling us this like, I remember at the time, like, I did not feel like I was talking to an adult. I feel like I was talking to my friend, like, and he's supposed to, we were telling him personal stuff that he probably should have reported. Mind you, because you still work with children, you're a mandated reporter. He never reported none of this stuff, none of, like, ever. He never reported anything we said to him, which at the time was good because it was, like, a safe space. But now I'm looking back, like, no, you definitely overstepped. You overstepped something. So now you get an understanding of how close we are. Let me tell you the signs why I think he might have been trying to groom us, or he was just extremely nice. First one, he would buy me and B special snacks, and he would have us, we would only be able to sneak them. The other students in his class were not allowed to touch these snacks. We would get in trouble if we gave him the snacks. It was just for me and B. Like, we were the only ones like were allowed to get the snacks. And he was a lot closer to B now that I'm looking back at it than he was me. I think just because my dad. So anyways, let's get into that. So I remember this one time he had gave B his number, and he would tell her like, if anything happens at home and you need to get picked up at like the middle of the night, just because she was going through a lot of home stuff, he's like, call me, this is my number, if you want to text me, here you go. Now that I look back, not appropriate. But before my dad went to jail, we had these like clubs. It was like his was a movie club, and I remember us watching Naruto, and he had told me that we were gonna get special snacks for me and B, and we were gonna sit in the very back of the class so nobody could see us. Mind you, these are his words, and we're gonna eat our snacks and watch it, and nobody's gonna be able to see us. I go home and I tell my dad, and my dad's like, Brianna, are you getting fucking touched? You need to tell me right now if he's gonna touch you, if he's touching you. And mind you, my dad was like abusive to me, but he also was like, bitch, you're the only person that could abuse me in this situation. No, I'm just like, but he was like also like a fucking like machista ass man, bro. Like nobody, like he's the only one abusing me. Nobody else is fucking with me. So he's like, I'm gonna go fuck him up, like, you need to tell me right now. And I'm like, Dad, what the fuck is wrong with you? Because mind you, I don't even like my dad when I was little. So I was like, why the fuck are you trying to be mean to my teacher? Like, because at the time, this is like the only adult who's like ever nice to me, like, besides like my mom. And my mom was like a bird brain, like, you know, like, this is the only adult who's nice to me. But I look back, and I think maybe B might have had more stuff going on with her, but I think I didn't, because, like, my dad was, like, a fucking lunatic. And, I don't know if my dad told him anything, but I remember going back to school and telling him, like, Oh yeah, and I think maybe, bro, like, who knows, this probably is what saved me. As I told him, like, before that happened, I was like, my dad got so mad and was like trying to say that you're being weird and like trying to do weird stuff with us. And I remember him being like, what the fuck, no. But I just remember him always being like super close to me and be like just very close. He would let B play Roblox on his phone, like just shit like that, where it's like, you're not supposed to be letting a student do this. And he would tell us about how he would go to other like kids that have went to middle school, how he would go to their basketball games, and how he was still close to them even though they graduated, or like not graduated but like promoted already, just stuff like that. And I look back now and I'm like, oh wait, no, that's odd. Why are you hanging out with middle schoolers? And he was very close with us. Like, he would tell us about how he didn't have a relationship with his dad, and then he would show us like a bunch of videos on Snapchat of him like going out with his friends, like, or just being on boats, like shit like that. And just kind of like really odd stuff now that I look back. And I don't really know if that's like considered grooming, or like if he was trying to groom us, or if like what I'm saying, if it seems like he was just really nice, or if he was like had ulterior motives. But anyways, okay, so the last part of the story is he got fired. And I'm pretty sure he got fired from how close he was to me and B. Like, not just to me, but to B mostly. And I remember when he got fired, oh my god, it was so fucking dramatic. So he, like, the teacher came in the class, Miss Sarah, I'm gonna just say her fucking name, because she was mean. And she used to give her kids used to come in summertime to our Think Together program, and she used to give them special privileges, and the teachers would be like, you're not supposed to be doing that. And she'd be like, well, they are, like, okay, oh my god, I'm getting off track. But Miss Sarah came in the class and was like, she like she didn't fire him, but she was like telling him something, which like, bitch, why are you doing this in front of a bunch of kids? So then he's like mad. So like, where me and B are sitting there, we're like crying because they're like yelling at each other, like the teachers, mind you. And he gets his keys to the Think Together and he's like, fuck this. And he like throws them on the floor. It's just so dramatic. And after that, and then she's like, I wasn't firing you. Like, it was so stupid. And he was like, oh my god, I thought you were. Do you get why I thought that? And she was like, yeah, but like, now you got to go, my boy. And I just never saw him again after that. But I just always think, like, was he trying to groom me? Or was he just, like, being a nice person? And I always think of these stories when I'm little. Like, I completely forget. And then my mom will, like, bring them up. And I'm like, okay, why the fuck were you not, like, doing anything? Like, why are you letting that happen? But that's the story of like how I don't know if I got groomed, but like I might have got groomed.
When I was 19, I was held hostage by 3 men, and I survived, and I think that I saved my own life. This is a story that a lot of people don't know about me. It's a story that I don't share openly. It's a part of my history that my brain worked really hard to get rid of. I have a lot of missing memories from it that slowly come back over the years. But I want to share my story, a little bit of it, to say what I did that I think kept me alive and is why I'm here and I escaped, in case anybody finds themselves in this situation themselves. I think being held hostage is different than people think. It's not always like a blatant hostage situation. And I'm not a professional. I could be wrong about this, but I just know that this is what I did, and I think that's why I'm alive. So when I was 19, I was dating this guy. We had been seeing each other for about 4 months, and everything was normal and fine. He always came down to see me, and we were expecting a blizzard. I live in New England, so when we get snowstorms, they're like really bad. They take people out of work for like days on end. It's not like just snow. Like, we get blizzards that literally like barricade us inside. So he asks me to come stay with him during the snowstorm, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, it's my boyfriend of 4 months, like, I'll go stay with him for a snowstorm. But at this point, I had never been to his place because he lived an hour away from me and in a very rural area. So he just always came to see me. But so it was in the afternoon, like early evening, I drove up there and the snow had just started. So when I get there, it's like really snowing at this point, and I find out that he lives in an apartment complex, literally building in the middle of nowhere.
and he lives with a 70-year-old blind veteran and a 30-year-old drug addict. So I get there and I'm like extremely uncomfortable. These 3 men share a 2-bedroom apartment and it is storming so badly out. And if you know anything about snow, like very quickly a 1-hour drive turns into 3 hours because of how bad the roads get. So I already wanted to leave. Like when I got there, I was exhausted. It was like in the middle of the night. I was tired. I was hungry and I just wanted to leave already. But it was dark and it was snowing really bad and I was young. I didn't have experience driving in the snow at that point, so I agreed. Like I stayed the night. Everything was really normal that night. But then the next day things got really weird. Like he just started like calling me weird. This was the warning signs. He just was very different. I'd never seen anything like this. He started calling me different pronouns. Like he was calling me he, him, it, referring to me as a puppy. Like it was just like nothing like that had ever happened. I'm a woman. And this is when I started realizing like I was like unsafe. Other things happened that I'm really just not comfortable sharing with anybody or the internet, but this is when the warning signs started. So I had said to him, you know, the next day when I woke up, it was still storming out like completely through the next day. And I said, I think I'm going to go home. I'm just like, I really want to shower. I made it really normal. This is the important thing. I didn't make it like, I'm uncomfortable here, like I need to leave. Like I made it just like, I'm going to go home, like for my own reasons. Like and then I said, I'll see you like Wednesday or whatever day, just to make it seem like I'll see him again. And he was like, no, you can't leave. Like it's storming. Like he made it like I would be hurt, and he stole my phone. He took my phone from me. And at that point I was like, give me my phone back, you know, like, and he locked me in the room. And he didn't come back until later that night, like way later that night, like 2-3 a.m. I didn't scream, I didn't swear, I didn't whatever. Like the other men in their house were weird. Like I'm not gonna get into it, but I just knew even if I did that, like I wouldn't have been able to leave. Like nobody would have heard me. And then I would have made a scene, and then they would have realized like, oh fuck, she knows what's going on. And then they probably would have me. Because that's the thing, like when people realize that they can get in trouble, that's when they like up things up, because they don't want to get found. They don't want to get like in trouble. So if you are making it obvious, like I feel like I wouldn't be here anymore. So he comes back later that night. I found out he was, I'm not even, whatever. So, and I like argue with him a little bit, and like nothing crazy, where I was like, where have you been? And he like hit me and whatever. But so I still don't have my phone. I'm stuck in the house. It's still storming out the next day. And so I just sleep there again. So then the next day, this is day 3. By the way, at this point, I haven't been able to eat. He hasn't given me any food. I can't go to the bathroom. I don't have my phone. It's just fucking horrible. So day 3, it's finally not snowing anymore, but there's like feet of snow. Like my car is covered in snow. I still don't have my phone. And I wake up to the roommate, the drug addict roommate, sitting on the floor staring at me while I sleep. That was one of the scariest things that has ever happened to me. He was smiling at me while I slept, and I didn't have clothes on. I woke up and I looked at him and I saw the situation, and I just said, relax, relax, relax to myself. And I didn't make a scene. I did not make a scene because, again, something in me was telling me, you have to play this off like it's normal. You have to play this off. And I just said, where's so-and-so? Haha. Like, I made it normal. And he's like, oh, like, he's coming back now. So at this point, I was like, I have to get out of here. Like, this is getting really bad. And when he came back, it had stopped snowing. So I played it off like I was there and I was going to stay there, and like everything was great. And I said, you know, we've been stuck in the house for a while. Like, can we go get coffee? Like, I'll buy it. Like, let's just go get coffee down the street. And like, I knew him, like he loves coffee and cigarettes. So he was like, yeah, like good idea. So like I get him to get me out of the house and like go get a coffee. And when we're in there in the coffee shop, he like hit his arm or something on it, and I like giggled because I was like, are you okay? Like that. And he turns around and screams at me in the rest of the place, and this woman looks at me and she mouths to me, she goes, "Are you okay?" Like, he was screaming at me. He's like, "You stupid," and I was already planning to escape here, but like I was waiting because he had my phone, and like my car is covered in snow, like I don't know where I am, like I need my GPS. So I shook my head like no at her. But we get back outside, and I'm like, we had taken his car, by the way, to the coffee shop. So that's another thing. I don't even have my car. So I had let her know, like, no, I'm not okay. Like, we were outside, and then we go back to the house. And then when we're back, this is where I really am like, I need to leave. I go, "Can I have my phone?" Like, I forget what reason I said. And I was like, I'm just gonna, I forget. He was like smoking a cigarette or whatever. And when he gave me my phone, because I was supposed to like, I think I was like offering to transfer money to him or something. I don't remember. I just needed a reason to get my phone back. And he started smoking, but he was like always near me, like not letting me out of his sight. And I fucking bolted to my car, covered in snow. I like got in the car, I locked it, I like locked myself in, and he's like standing outside my car, like banging on it, like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm gonna call the cops if you don't get away from me, I'm gonna call the cops, like, go away." And he's just like banging on my car. But yeah, sorry, I just got emotional. That was my story. Nothing came of it because it's just a long story, but I think I saved my life by playing everything off like I did. And I've tried to speak out about this person. I've told my story and nobody ever listened to me, and he's like a prominent musician around here that a lot of people know. But you know, it was bad. There's a lot of things that I don't want to talk about, but I'm alive. I'm grateful to be alive, and I think I did the right thing how I handled it. But yeah, like, this is to the women, like, even if you're dating somebody, please don't, like, be vulnerable like that unless you really, really know them. Like, I had known this guy for 4 or 5 months. He'd met my family, and, like, that still happened to me. And just be safe. Looking back, like, I would never go somewhere in a snowstorm like that. Like, my perception on the world is really different after this experience. It always will be, but no matter who you're with, just like make sure like you are with people that you're safe being vulnerable around. And yeah, I hope this helps someone if they ever are in a situation like this.
I'm dealing with a mistress from hell, okay? Literally fell out of Satan's asshole hell. So I want to hear what you guys think. I'm gonna vent for a second. So for people that are new here, married 10 years, struggled with infertility for 9. My spouse adopted my older son. 4 days after we get pregnant with a miracle baby, he starts an affair. But so I've had 2 conversations with this girl. Neither one of them have been productive. Like, we don't like each other. We're never going to be able to have a conversation. But this girl has been having an affair with my husband for a few months now. Since I'm going to say, well, they started in April, 4 days after we found out we're pregnant. And then he walked out on June 3rd. Okay, so since June 3rd, and it is now December. But so she's only known him a few months, and she acts like she can educate me on my marriage. So get a load of this. She told me, one of the many things she told me, the fact is you and him were not good together. And I'm like, could you imagine the mistress telling the wife that? Could you, like, oh my goodness, were you there, little girl? I don't think so. So don't speak on something you know nothing about. All she knows are the lies that Thad just told her. Period. That's crazy talk to tell the wife that. Anyways, like, she wasn't there. She knows nothing. And then the next one is she told me that I allowed him to do what he did. I allowed it. I didn't know he was cheating. You know who did know he was cheating? You. You allowed it, not me. She also told me that I'm problematic and exhausting. Could you imagine having an affair with somebody's husband, playing a hand in them going through their entire pregnancy alone? And she's had 3 kids, so she knows what it's like to be pregnant. So to put that and support and inflict that on another woman is disgusting to me. She did that, okay? I know he opened the door. He shouldn't have done that, but she happily walked through it because she's deeply insecure, and being a mistress is her greatest accomplishment in life. But could you imagine having an affair with somebody's husband, helping blow up their lives, helping you go through your entire pregnancy alone, and telling the wife that she's problematic and exhausting? Sweetie, you're exhausting. Your entire existence is exhausting, and you shouldn't have been born. But okay. And after everything that has happened to me, and I've been put through because of them, I'm allowed to be angry, and I'm allowed to drag people, and I'm allowed to say whatever the hell I want. Like, I'm angry, and I owe her no respect, right? And at this point, her entire family, dead ancestors, all of them, fair game. Like, screw you. You shouldn't have been a home wrecking whore if you can't handle the heat. Period. But she's acting like I owe her some sort of respect. Get out of here. Nothing I have said or done will ever compare to what they did at the end of the day. But another thing she said is she said that I'm equally to blame for my failed marriage. It shouldn't have failed. And if you ask me, she's more equally to blame for my failed marriage than I am. He came home in December by his own free will, his own choice. We were rebuilding, okay? We weren't even arguing, having fights. Like, there was no indication that there was any trouble in paradise. None. We were not having issues, okay? In February for Valentine's Day, we got matching hoodies with our anniversary date on them. Like, we were getting matching hoodies. And he wore them, okay? We went to the store a few times with wearing them. And we're wearing matching hoodies in February. And then in March, we upgrade my phone on the phone plan. We upgrade our Sam's membership. We're making changes. Like, we're adding to our life. We're upgrading things in our lives. And in April, we finally get pregnant after 10 years of infertility. Finally have a miracle baby. And 4 days later, he starts cheating. I just didn't know. But God, and in May, we were actively planning a move, okay? Like, I was applying to housing. He told me where he wanted us to live, and I was looking for housing within that area. Like, it's crazy talk. And we got him a truck together. Like, we were actively doing things together. And because of last year, he was actively rebuilding his relationship with our son because our son was really hurt, and he was afraid that his dad would leave again. And he did. But he blindsided us. And this girl is talking like, your marriage was failed way before I came in. No, it wasn't. Like, I'm so annoyed. Like, we were rebuilding, okay? And his life would be so much better had he have just kept it in his pants. He'd have a successful career. He'd have this little guy every single day. His relationship with his older son probably would have been mended and healed at this point. He would have a family that loved him. He wouldn't be financially in debt. Like, he would have a much better life had he have just stayed home and kept it in his pants. His mom even said he cared more about his one-eyed monster than his family. Okay? He made a bad decision and you helped with it. He opened the door, you proudly walked through it. She has more of a hand in the failed marriage than I do. Period. She is a home-wrecking whore and nothing more. That's it. But, like, the audacity on this girl to have an affair with my husband, blow up my life, help blow up my life because I know he's equally to blame, but then talk to me like this. I couldn't imagine having an affair with someone's husband and then saying this stuff to the wife. Like, it's crazy. She is on this mistress high horse of thinking she's special because being a mistress is like I said, her greatest accomplishment in life. But she also, not only is she running her mouth to me, acting like she knows what she's talking about, and she disrespected my son's boundary. She disrespected me as a mother. Like, she is not, like, it's not going great for this girl. And Vag, I know him like the back of my hand, and never has he ever acted like he couldn't be around me. And even last year with everything that happened, there were times where it got really bad last year and he still never acted like he couldn't be around me. So I'm like, the fact that he's acting like he can't be around me feels more like her, because it's not him. It's more of he has an insecure little girl over his shoulder because she knows that she's an affair partner, and she knows that how you get them is how you lose them. She knows that. She's, gosh. I can't stand her. Like, if she cared about anything, if she had any ounce of respect, morals, anything, she would stay the hell away. She would not try to force her way into our lives. Like, she would back off. She would wait till there's been time and distance. And she would do things the right way. Like, speak when spoken to at this point. Like, no one likes you. You played a hand in hurting my family and causing a lot of damage. Like, back off. Like, I don't know. It's just really frustrating. And I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. And my son's still really hurt from everything that happened. So it's like, I don't know. I'm just like, God. An insecure woman sleeps with married men. An insecure woman talks to the wife like this. Oh, I had an affair with your husband, but you guys weren't good together anyways. The audacity. An insecure woman forces her way into a kid's life. Like, a secure woman, if you're dating a guy and he's got kids and the kids are not ready to meet you, a secure woman would say, oh, that's fine. I understand. I won't force it. It's just, I'm dealing with a mistress from hell. From hell. And Vag has a much better chance of starting over with somebody else than with this girl. I feel like this girl's existence is going to make co-parenting incredibly hard. Incredibly hard. But yeah, so I'm like, is this normal mistress behavior? Or is she just deeply insecure? I did block her number because it's not productive, and I put her in my phone as Bob the Builder because she can fix me as she can, apparently. So, I don't know. I just know that me and her need to never be around each other. Like, we need to be separate for forever. If she lasts that long. I don't think she'll make it 6 more months, but that's just what I think.
I'm never telling a girl when her man is cheating on her ever again in my life. Okay, y'all. I need to tell you guys something, and I need your opinion on it. The first part, I'm just kidding. Of course, I'm going to tell a girl. But this is my first video in English because a lot of people have asked me to make a video in English because they don't know Spanish. Okay, so I was talking to this guy. Let's say I started talking to him around, I think it was like 3 months ago. And then in October was when I found out that he had a girlfriend. He thought he was so slick. Like, and I found out he had a girlfriend. I don't trip about anything. I immediately try to find the girl's Instagram, the girl's TikTok, and I messaged her on a fake account because I didn't want her to figure out who I was. Because you don't know, like, if a person's gonna be crazy or not, you know? So I tell her, of course, she's like, kind of not believing me at first, but then I send her proof, so she believes me because this man is stupid. He's actually stupid. But I found out everything about her, and then I told her everything, and she was being really nice at first. She was like, oh, thank you so much for telling me, like, thank you so much. And then a minute later, I'm blocked, which I don't really care. I've told like 3 girls in the past that their man was cheating on them. They all don't listen, but at least I know I'm doing my part, and that's on them if they want to stay in the relationship. Okay, when I tell you guys this man is tripping, like, this man is tripping out on me, and he's telling me, like, I don't care that I have a girlfriend, like, she's gonna forgive me, like, but I still want you, I love you, I'm just using her for papers, whatever, all these things. I block him. And I think that's that. Like, the girl has me blocked, he has me blocked. I'm just over it because I'm not about to deal with any of that. Okay, so I think that's that. Like, I don't care. I live my life. I move on. Yesterday, I'm minding my own little business, you know, minding my business, and a video of hers comes across my For You page. So she's doing a get ready with me, and in that get ready with me, she's talking about me. So she figured out who I was because he told her about me. He told her who I was and everything. I don't know why he did that. I think to, like, save his relationship or something. But I think he, like, painted me as, like, the crazy girl. He told her, so she knows who she was talking about. Like, let me tell you about this. So she's talking in her story time. She's talking about me, how I'm crazy, how I'm a stalker, how she doesn't F with me, and how she doesn't, like, she thinks I'm weird, and then she calls me a B word. Like, I'm sorry that I told you that your man was cheating on you with the whole state of Arizona. He's literally the biggest Bob. Like, how did you not know? I don't know. I don't know how you didn't know. Like, why would you do that? All of that for a man that doesn't even want you? Because I literally told you what he said. He told me that he doesn't want you. Like, he literally only wants papers, and I told you that, and you're still there. Like, you still want the community ball. You still want the community. But, you know, like, I had actually good intentions, and that made me kind of sad seeing that. And the fact that she knows who I am, but she doesn't know me in person. I think if she, like, actually knew me, she wouldn't hate me. But I literally told you that your man was cheating on you, like. So, am I weird for, like, tripping about that? Because you know who I am. You don't at me, or you don't want to message me or anything about it, like, to clear something up. But you do a whole video, you do, like, a video talking about me. I don't really understand that. And I don't think I actually deserve that. I don't think I deserve, like, being talked about that way, because I was just trying to help, and that's what I get for trying to be nice. But yeah, I hope she sees this and she knows that her man is still cheating on her, and he's really weird. He's a bop. And when I tell you guys that this man reeked, like, he smelled so bad. Like, he actually stank so bad. The first time we were at the gym and he was telling me, like, ugh, it smells like rotten fish. And I'm like, smell yourself, because that's literally you. So he smells himself. He's so embarrassed. He drowns himself in perfume. Now it smells like rotten fish and perfume. I don't know if that's gonna fix anything. Second time I go out with him, he's still stinking. Like, do you not shower? Third time, still stinking. Every single time, still stinking. And when I tell you guys that this man is so broke, like, so actually broke, that he would, like, rant to me. Like, he ranted to me when I was, like, ending things with him. When he would rant to me, like, you never paid anything for me. Like, this girl actually, like, she doesn't care that I don't have money, and that she literally pays for everything. Like, she doesn't care. But when I'm rich, I don't want to hear anything from you. I'm like, bro, you're broke. Just say that. Girl, you settled for nothing. He has nothing. Like, I'm not the one to be like, haha, you have no money. But also, like, he's a terrible person. So, haha, you have no money. But yeah, that's like the story time that I have for you guys for now. Well, like I said, hopefully she sees this, because, and I'm not even gonna at her, because I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. She's gonna find this, and but yeah, this is why you shouldn't be a terrible person. And I've learned my lesson that people are weird. Like, people are so weird. No, it's because she said in her video, she was like, people are so weird. People are really weird. Like, girl, you're so weird. You're weird. How about that? Yeah. And if you guys are wondering why I hate him so much, well, he's done bad things to me. Like, really bad things. I'm not gonna get into it, because he's just, I don't know. He literally has me traumatized. This is why I don't want to talk to anybody anymore. So let me know if I'm tripping over nothing, or if I'm, like, actually, like, right to be mad, because I think I'm right to be mad.
Get ready with me while I talk about how my boyfriend of 2 years cheated on me with a psychological, pathological, crazy logical, insanity logical liar. Okay. As you guys can tell, I'm still not over it, even though this happened a whole year and a half ago. Because once you're done dirty, you'll never forget that. Like, the fuck? You think I'm gonna forgive and forget? Nope. So, starting off right off the bat, if this thing will come out, me and this boy were not around the same age. I know. Crazy. Let's just say that I was a senior in high school and he was a sophomore in high school. But to be fair, I was 17 at the time. Like, I'm a August baby, so you know I take a while turning my age. So I didn't start talking to him until, like, later on down the road, just because I was dealing with my own shit from last year, which that's a whole nother story. And so, like, he was, like, a weirdo, if I were to call him anything. Like, he was, like, that mysterious, nonchalant guy, the one that always had the AirPods in. And we were in marching band, like, band geek right here. But he would be laying in the concrete, hot concrete, by the way, listening to AirPods, being depressed as fuck. So I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing? But besides all that, he was also, like, talking. He was, okay, I'm so, like, backtracked. He was new to that school, to that high school. And instantly he started talking to, like, the weird girls, if I were to say anything. And that's why I didn't pay attention to him, because I'm just like, I knew. I've been there for, like, 2.5 years, and I knew how they were like. And they were just, like, the getting around kind of girls, if you know what I mean. And he was dealing with them. I was just like, that's disgusting. So yeah, I've been hearing, like, stuff like, oh, like, he's not over his ex. He lived in freaking another state, but it's, like, the state right next to mine. And how, like, he was dating this one girl, one of the one girls that I was talking about. And how they weren't dating, but they were dating, kind of like situationship shit, like. And I was just like, oh, like, I love tea. That's one thing. I'm a chismosa. So I'm going to be standing there and be, like, taking notes and everything. And I'm just like, yikes, right? Anyways, where everything starts, like, heading, like, south is when I was just like, okay, like, I have no guys to have a crush on. Like, I'm kind of bored. Like, I need someone to have a crush on. And I don't remember how he came into mind, but fortunately, he came into mind. So it was, like, around Christmas time, because I remember it was, like, around, like, Christmas parades and stuff like that. I started noticing him, and I was just like, why you look kind of cute? Now that I'm looking from you from afar, you kind of fine. Or so I thought he was, you know. Love is blind. Gotta love that quote. And so I, like, started being, like, a semi-stalker, and I knew of his age. Like, don't come at me. Like, he was definitely over 16. Let me clarify that. I'm not trying to get canceled already, even though, like, I just begun. Mind you, I'm still new to this, so if anything, like, any feedback or anything, please let me know. So yeah, so I just started talking to him and stalking him, and I was just like, hey, like, oh my god, the way we started talking was, like, he was, like, in the car rider line. Again, I know, he was young, but he was in the car rider line, and I was just like, let me, like, approach him. So I was just like, hey, hi, hey, what you doing? And we just started talking, and he was all like, you know, my ride is already here, but, you know, I would like to stay and get to know you more. Ever since that, like, we've been, like, talking here and there, and it was about to be, like, Christmas break, and he was just like, oh, he was like, I can beat you in iMessage games. And I was just like, is this your way of, like, asking for my phone number? And that was, in fact, his way of asking for my phone number. And I was just like, no riz. Absolutely none. Yeah, and so during Christmas break, we were talking nonstop, and that's when I noticed that he was actually a pretty nice guy. And all those rumors that I was hearing, I was just like, is it actually true, or they were just, like, actual rumors? So I gave this guy the benefit of the doubt, and I'm just like, you know what? We are going to literally give you a chance, you know? And I was just like I know that his age plays a big factor, but he acted really mature for his age, and I was just like, you know what, let's try it out. So we started talking, and to be clear, I only had one boyfriend before him, and so take that context with what you will. Let's just say he was my first everything, my first love, my first, you know, my first everything. think. And so I grew fondly of him. Like, I was like, oh my god, like, this is the love of my life, this is the man I'm gonna marry, or so I thought. So we go off the last semester of my senior year pretty well. There's been like some like obviously bad moments. There's always bad moments in relationships, but mind you, we weren't exclusive yet. We were what they call a situationship, and that was partially my fault. You know, as a Hispanic, if anyone was, you know, has Hispanic families and parents, they would know why. They had to like meet him and all this, and it's just like a whole process. It's like literally a whole process. And so I literally told him, like, we're gonna have to wait. Are you okay with that? And he literally said yes. Like, mind you, he said yes. So we were dating without the title, and everyone in the school knew that. So then I graduated high school, and summer has begun. Mind you, you know, I already know what college I was going to, what I was going to do with my future, what my first job and everything. And he was just like, oh, but don't forget about me. And I was just like, trust, like, I'm not, like, and my stupid ass picked a college right next to like our hometown, so that I didn't have to drive far away, and I could like always stay with him and be with him, because again, my dumb ass thought that he was the love of my life. Anyways, so summer was like pretty great. Like, that was like the best summer of our life. And then summer just had to end, and towards the end of summer was my birthday, in fact. And this is where everything started going downhill. So now he's a junior in high school. I am a freshman in college, and he started school early because of marching band camp. And instantly, all my friends that are still in high school were just like, Sarah, this girl is like flirting with your boyfriend nonstop. They're both flirting with each other, and they were like playing like truth or dare, like who would they date, and she picked my boyfriend, or my boyfriend, because remember, we weren't dating. And everyone instantly goes, oh, no, he's off limits, he's dating one of our friends named Sarah, she just graduated, like, but he's off limits. Like, no, big no. And you want to know what this girl said? She said, I don't care, do I see her? Have I met her? No, so she doesn't exist to me. That girl is nowhere near a girl's girl, and I will tell you this right now. So I'm like over here complaining to my boyfriend, and I'm just like, oh my god, like, I can't believe, like, she likes you, like, are you giving her any signs, like, please don't date me like I'm dating a girl? And he was like, no, because we're technically not dating. Excuse me, we've done everything in the book that says that we are dating, we just don't have a title. And he goes, and whose fault is that? Bitch, what? And I'm running out of time, so go to part 2. Wasn't trying to get a part 2. Put in the comments what you want to hear, what you would like to hear, and please be interactive with me, because I will respond back, because I got you.
Wait!
Behind you!
Oh my god!
Hey y'all, so I thought I'd come here and see if I can get some advice. So about 6 years ago, I cut off a relationship with my best friend growing up. We were friends from like 4th grade up until we were like 23, 24 years old. We were so close that we considered each other to be sisters, and we planned to be each other's maids of honors, each other's godparents to each other's kids, things like that, right? So super, super close. And I ended up being her maid of honor in her wedding in like 2018. And so it was like December of 2018. In January of 2019, she texts me to tell me that she's pregnant. Okay, cool. Like, love this. Like, super excited. She also formally asks me in that moment to be her child's godmother. And I'm like, of course, like, absolutely. I'm stoked, because I'm like, finally, right? And so, like, leading up, like, the first couple months into her pregnancy, I'm like, what are we doing for baby showers, stuff like that, right? And she's like, oh, reach out to my so-and-so in my family, and I will, like, you guys can plan together. Okay, cool. So I'm planning, or kind of planning. I think I'm planning. I think everybody else knew that I wasn't actually a part of shit, but I thought I was planning things, or at least attempting to. So I reached out to them like, hey, let me know what I need to pay for, what I need to like do, whatever. I got it, right? And it was like, okay, cool, like I'll let you know, yada yada. So one day I'm coming home from work. I worked at a nail salon, so I worked 6 days a week, like 10 to 12 hour shifts every single day, and I only had Mondays off. So I'm coming home, I stop at In-N-Out, and I'm ordering food for me, my sister, and Ricky, we all had just moved into this house together. This was like April of 2019 by this point. So I'm getting food for us, and right before I'm about to order, I'm on Snapchat, and I see Snapchat stories of what looks like a baby shower gender reveal. And I'm like, what the hell? And so I'm scrolling through it, and sure enough, it's their gender reveal. I'm like, what the hell? Like, what's going on? I keep going through it because there's a lot. And I see a picture, and it's her and her husband with 2 other people. The guy who's the godfather, and then another friend of theirs. And the post says, like, the parents and the godparents. And I was like, that fucking hurt. So I order my food. Between the time I order the food and actually pay for the food, I call her. And I'm like, hey, congratulations. I hear you're having a boy. It's so exciting. Are you excited? I know you wanted a girl. Like, I'm keeping it to a point of like, I want you to know that I know, but I'm just going to keep it to the congratulations. And she's still literally at her party. So I'm like, I'm not going to be on the phone like, what the fuck, right? But I wanted her to know that I knew. And I come home and I'm hysterical. I'm to the point where I cried myself to sleep, waking up crying in my sleep throughout the night. Like to the point where like Ricky doesn't know what to do. My sister is like, doesn't really know what to do. Like they're worried about me. And I was just heartbroken, honestly. And I have had some crazy breakups. And this was the worst. Like, this was the worst breakup I had ever experienced in my life. I knew in that moment we were done. I was done, at least. So next day I call her or text her, and I'm like, hey, that really hurt. A lot of things in this hurt, not just like you deciding to pick somebody else, but it's mostly the fact that you could not tell me this. I don't care that you picked the person that you ended up picking with. I think she's amazing. I think she'd be a great godmother. It has nothing to do with that person. It has everything to do with the fact that you could not communicate that with me. And why? Is it because of Ricky? Because they don't like Ricky. So this has to be about Ricky. Is it because of like who I am as a person? Like I literally could not grasp it. Me and her going back and forth. It's a couple days. There's comments made, whatever. She's made comments about like, I'm not like there as a friend anymore. I don't show up to things, but it's like, I'm not doing it because like I'm choosing my man over my friends. I work 6 days a week. I only have Mondays off. I can't hang out on the weekends because I'm at work. And keep in mind, I'm working in Scottsdale, driving all the way back to the west side. So it was a lot. And yeah, so like a week after, I think me and her were like kind of beefing and like, all of that, her husband reaches out. Now keep in mind, me and her husband were friends before they even started dating. So he reaches out, and like me and him, talk a little bit, and like I tell him how I feel about shit. He tells me how he feels about shit, and there seemed to be an understanding. But that's because he has more maturity, in my opinion. And so we were able to communicate like a little bit. But I can't be friends. In my mind, I was like, I can't be friends with her. And because you guys are married, I can't have a relationship with you either, because that's not fair to like me, 1. And 2, for you, like I'm not going to put that strain on you, like I do respect you and your marriage enough to like not put that strain on you. So we just all stopped communicating. So my birthday in like 2023, I think it was, she reaches out to me and sends me a message, and she says, hey, this is really out of the blue, but I just wanted to say happy birthday, and I hope you're happy and doing well. I also wanted to apologize for everything and acting like a child, and for it taking so long to say sorry. I had to put on my glasses because I can't read. But yeah, happy birthday. I wasn't looking or expecting you to forgive me or anything, but I do think about you on your birthday and the courage to say something. And at that time, I was like, I'm not fucking messaging you back on my birthday. It's my birthday. Like, I'll message you tomorrow. And I never did. Like, literally never did. But I also was kind of like, you only feel guilty on my birthday? Do you even know what you're apologizing for? Because there really wasn't much besides acting like a child. So I was like, I don't even know what to say to this. So then my birthday this year, right, which is a couple days ago. It's not like, yeah. She reaches out and she says, happy birthday, hope you're doing well, something like that, like very short. So I did respond to her. And I was like, so it's a little difficult getting these messages from you. Everything that happened really hurt me, like worse than any breakup. For a long time, I felt like with all the things that happened, that was the worst of it, and the pain was just from losing a best friend. I was never upset with you for changing your mind about me being your child's godmother. I felt betrayed in our friendship that you couldn't communicate that to me and let me find out the way that I did. But now my life is so beautiful. I have a beautiful daughter, another baby on the way. I'm engaged and planning my wedding, and I don't even have you to share those things with. That part hurts more than just losing you as a friend. And honestly, that really does, because I feel robbed from certain things. Like, I was there for her as a maid of honor, and I don't get to have that. I wanted her to be my child, like to be my child's godmother. I don't get to have that. I mean, my child's godmother, you're fucking amazing. You know who you are. Like, don't even question it. But like, there were certain expectations that me and her had, and I feel robbed of certain things because of all of this. So this is where question of advice comes in, because this is what her response was. And I don't really know if I should or how to respond to this, if I should. She says, I'm sorry, and I've always felt sorry. I was scared, and I know that it's 100% my fault. Understand that it's horrible the way you were told. If I'm honest, if I could take everything back, I would in a heartbeat. I think about you often, and I still look at everything you post about to see how you're doing. I'm a horrible person and deserve everything. I would love the reality where you see my 2 kids grow up. My daughter is 1, my son is 6. For 6 years, I've been thinking about you and wish I could take it all back. I'm rambling and it sounds like word vomit. I'm sorry. I always figured by this point you were better without me around, but if I had the chance to gain you back in my life, I'd take it in an instance. I always feel like a small part of my life is missing. No matter how many times I say sorry or anything makes up for how I hurt you, I'm aware of that, but just know I do love you, always have and always will. If you want me to stop telling you happy birthday every year, I will. I want to respect you and your wishes more than anything. So yeah, I don't really know if I should respond to this. I want to. My immediate reaction was to be petty. Like, it took you 6 years to like figure this out. But then I was like, no. And I want to, but I'm also like, I don't know if I should. So let me know. Yeah, I would appreciate some advice on this because I don't know what to do. And if you want more information of like other things in the relationship, let me know. I can talk about it.
Ike, you have to be honest. Am I ugly, yes or no?
Something freaky is going on, and I'm the only one that lives here, and I need to tell somebody, and I need some opinions. Can you listen and give me your opinion, please? Okay, look, so me and my husband got a new build house 3 years ago in Vegas, okay? These are big houses, and the neighbors next door, God, I hope nobody follows me. I hope nobody, okay. We don't really speak, so anyway, when we first moved in, it was a bunch of Mexicans that live next door, and that's fine. That's fine. It makes sense. These are big houses. They got all the bedrooms and all the bathrooms, and I get along with all ethnicities. I'm going to get that out of the way, and I speak Spanish, so I know they were Mexican, because I'd be in the backyard, and I'd hear the Mexican music. I would hear them speaking in Spanish. I could smell the aromatics of the cooking of the Mexican food. And at least once a week, I had to throw a soccer ball back over the wall. We don't have fences. We have walls in Vegas here. And so after a year of being here, my husband got sent out of town to work, and he has not been back. He's been gone for almost 2 years, bouncing around the country, traveling, working. He comes home to visit. I visit him. That's the point. So listen to this. Here's the trippy part of what I can't wrap my head around. I'm confused. So I have a Ring doorbell. I do have a Ring doorbell. And the dynamic over there with the Mexicans, they're not Mexican no more. But hear me out. There was a dad, there was a grandpa, there was a teenage boy, there was a maybe late teen, early 20s girl, a couple of smaller kids, and maybe a few other like teenage, older, early 20s kids in a house, and a mom, and maybe a grandma. It was a lot of them in there, which, like I said, is understandable. There's space. There's plenty of space. And I was going out of town about 3 months ago. Hold on, what is this, December? It was like 3 or 4 months ago. I was going out of town. And I mean, we've spoken before. Me and the Mexicans have spoken before. The kids are always pleasant. They always wave. They always say hi. Sometimes our packages get messed up and we knock on each other's doors to switch packages around and things. I've talked to them before. And I was outside and I was like, I've known these people a long time. So I hollered over because I saw the grandpa outside. And I was like, hey, in Spanish, I said I was getting ready to go visit my husband, and could one of their teenagers, if I paid them, could they watch my cats? Just, come over and feed them once a day, their wet food. And he looked at me crazy. He looked at me like I was crazy. And then this girl comes out the front door. He was right by the front. He was like on the porch. And then this girl comes out, the early 20s girl. And she smiled real big, and I smiled back at her. And she always spoke English, so I spoke to her in English. And I asked her, I was like, hey, I'm about to go visit my husband. I was going to see if I could pay you, if you could come over here, once a day and feed the cats. I only got 2 cats, but, they like their wet food. And she looked at the grandpa and started speaking to him in Arabic. And I was like, did I miss something? I missed something. Did I miss something? I think something has been missed. Because I've always spoken to them in Spanish, and they always speak to me in Spanish. And I didn't think much of it. And then a few days later, they had the garage door up, and some people were leaving in like hijabs and full head to toe Arabic garments. And like I said, I get along with all cultures, but I'm confused on exactly what's going on here, because I checked my Ring doorbell. I went way back. The vehicles have not changed. Huh? There's always 2 vehicles parked on the street that belong to the adult children. Then there's 2 vehicles in the garage and 2 vehicles in the driveway. They're all the same vehicles. The vehicles have not changed. But this big family of Hispanics, they were from Mexico, but this big family of Hispanics is now the same size family, the same teenage boy, the same younger kids, the same looking grandpa, the same looking dad, the same looking mom, except now she's in a hijab and covered, and there's the same vehicles. It's the same amount of people. It's the same kind of age group of people. It's the same people. But now they're not Mexican anymore. They're Arabic. They don't speak Spanish no more. It's not the same people. They're the same people. They look like the same people, but they're not the same people. And I've checked my Ring for a U-Haul. I've checked it for anything. But the fact remains, all the cars are the same. They're the same exact cars. What is that? I mean, I mind my business. I stay and I don't talk to anybody. Them's the only neighbors I know in this whole neighborhood. I got neighbors across from me. I wave at the daughters when they're riding the bikes. Hi, how y'all doing? Cute little girls. I don't talk to nobody else. I always say hi to these people. And they always spoke Spanish to me.
And now they don't speak Spanish. Somebody tell me what happened. Can somebody tell me what happened? I mean, the most logical thing is the Mexicans moved out and the Arabic people moved in, which that's fine. But why do they all look the same as the Mexican family? And why do they have the same exact cars? Like the same exact cars. And like one of the cars has a little dent, right? They park going the wrong way on the street. So like they're not parked. I see the driver's side in front of my house on this side, and they have a little dent in the driver door, and that's the same damn car the teenage son was driving with the Mexican family, and it's still there. And now the other teenage son is driving it, and he looks the same, but he don't speak Spanish. Can somebody tell me what happened? I'm so confused. Get off me. I'm so confused. Like, I love the diversity of Vegas. That's one of the reasons I wanted to move to Vegas. There's all kind of languages and ethnicities of all kinds. People around the globe have moved here, and it's nice, and everybody's nice, and it's just nice. But how does a whole entire household full of people switch up from being Mexican to being, is it Arabs? I don't know how to say that. I'm not politically correct. I don't know how to put that. Arabic? Pakistani? I don't know where they're from. The previous ones, I knew they was from Mexico because they said they was from Mexico. Órale pues. Estamos de Mexico. I mean, I spoke to them. I knew where they... If somebody has any ideas, tell me. I talked to my son about it. He thinks they're sleeper cells. Whatever the fuck that is. What's a sleeper cell? It just don't make no sense. How do they got the same cars? How's there the same amount of people? They all look the same. They all look the same. Grandpa, grandma, mom, dad, teenagers, little kids, same cars, all the things. No U-Haul. How? And there's no more soccer balls. There has not been soccer balls across the fence in months. No Mexican music playing. No aromatics of Mexican. I do love Middle Eastern food. There's aromatics of Middle Eastern food now. I know food, obviously. I'm so curious as to what is going on. Should I be worried or should I just not give a fuck? It just don't make any sense. I don't think they're trying to get me or nothing. Like, I still wave at them and they wave at me. They think I'm crazy. They look at me wide-eyed when I'm blaring like ICP or Corn or, you know, any of that shit in my vehicle, because I tend to blast my music because I got a fat system in my Yukon, honey, and I'm going to use it. But aside from them looking at me crazy when I'm pulling out the driveway with that stuff on, what happened to my Mexicans? And why do they have the same car?